I'm Ariana, but I'm actually Junko Enoshima. Hi, Miranda.
Hello.
On behalf of Create Wanaki, I'll be interviewing Miranda to get some inside pro tips to help us prepare for our virtual cosplay event that'll be held on Friday, January 29th at 6:30 p.m. Let's go. First question. In your own words, how do you describe cosplay?
I would describe cosplay as another hobby that is really fun and means that you get to also dress up like characters that you really love. Sometimes original characters and sometimes already created characters.
Okay. What got you into cosplay?
I guess I've kind of always been into cosplay without knowing I was cosplaying. I started sewing at a really young age, around like 8. And I would make like costumes for like dolls and stuff. And then after a while, I started making them for myself. And yeah, I just started kind of dressing up for fun. And eventually, as I got older and, fell deeper into all of the nerd culture things that I enjoy, I discovered the cosplay side of Instagram and was like, I could totally do this. I should do this. So yeah, I just kind of started doing it. And I was in theater my whole life too. So I did, always had an interesting in costuming from that angle as well.
Okay. So which character is your favorite to cosplay as?
For me, it's a toss up between Starfire from Teen Titans, Officer Jenny, as I am wearing right now, and probably those two are my favorites right now.
Okay. Can you give any tips on costumes?
Absolutely. So I would say tip number 1, when you're like first starting out, first costume, first time, pick a character that you know you're going to be able to make the costume and get it together really, really well. So picking characters that maybe have items you could find at a thrift store nearby, or something that you could find like a base for at a thrift store and then alter. So if maybe they have like a design on like a white t-shirt, you can find a white t-shirt and get some fabric pens or something, or fabric if you're good at like quilting and stuff. And then you can just add the design onto a shirt. That would definitely be my first one. I would say also, don't take shortcuts if you are making your costume. I know I myself can be prone to like being like, well, I'm making this for myself, so it's good enough. But then kind of later down the line, like a hole will develop or something will happen. And I'm like, I should have just taken the extra 10 minutes to like finish this really nicely so it'll last. Because especially if you start going to conventions and stuff, like costumes, when you wear them all day long, they will wear down because you are moving around and having a good time in them. Yeah. Another thing I would say, I know a lot of people struggle with wigs. Wigs can be really, really tricky. I definitely myself struggle with wig styling sometimes. um, I would say for wigs, your best friend, first of all, is going to be anything by, it's called the Got to Be line of hairspray and gel. It's in like a big yellow can. Google it if you need to see it first. They sell it at like, grocery stores, Target and Walmart and stuff. Yeah, that stuff is like actual glue. It will hold a wig in place for a really long time and it's really nice. It's good. It's good stuff for wigs. Have patience when you're styling your wigs. It can definitely be like really taxing and really trying, but if you just keep like working and, just keep at it and like don't try to rush or don't get angry and like, try to like do something hastily, just like breathe through it and take your time. And get a steamer. Most wigs are made from synthetic hair, which it means that it's like little tiny strands of plastic basically. So if you steam it, it'll heat it up a little bit and you can move it into a position that you want it to be in. So like if you're doing like bangs, you know, and they keep falling over, like get a steamer and just kind of warm them up and then push them over and then let them cool down and then they should just stay there.
Okay. Do you have any other tips for wigs?
Um, Watch a lot of YouTube videos. Honestly, it's a great way to learn things. Almost anything, even in other cosplay realms, like almost anything that I have learned has been self-taught through YouTube. I've taken classes here and there as I was like a teenager and adult. But watch a lot of YouTube videos and like observe like what people are doing and like really, really do your research too. Like there's such a pricey part of a costume that I think it's really important that you really research the kind of tools and stuff that you need and just watch a lot of videos and then, you know, go into styling your wig like nice and like super informed and like ready to go with a good attitude about it.
How about makeup?
Makeup, yeah, absolutely. Character makeup is really fun, I think, because you can kind of like play with it and make it your own. I always do my character makeup. I'll always take inspiration from things or like from the original, you know, source of my costume. Um, but I also like to consider like if I was this character, like where am I coming from in this costume? Where am I going? Like what would my makeup actually look like? Like who is my character as a person? How would they do their makeup? Like how would I as this character do my makeup? Like I like to kind of try to get into their headspace before I pick like a final look for stuff. So for like Jenny, I tend to keep it like pretty because she's like feminine and nice, but like kind of more understated, you know? Because she's still like a cop and she's got a job to do. Whereas like when I'm cosplaying Ty Lee from like Avatar: The Last Airbender, she's like super hyper girly and like pink everything. So I just like cover my face in blush and like I wear like hot pink sparkly eyeshadow because I feel like, you know, that's very like that's like appropriate for that character. Another thing with makeup, I would say, don't be afraid to experiment with like contouring your face for changing the way your bone structure looks for a character, but also for things like gender bending. It can be really, really fun to contour your face and like do gender bend characters. I cosplay Bakugo from My Hero Academia sometimes, and it's really fun to like do the makeup and like make my face look like a boy. I think it like I don't know, it's just kind of fun to like totally take on that character. And also watch again with the YouTube videos. There's a ton of really great like resources on YouTube for that kind of stuff. So just watch all the videos you can, read as much as you can.
Also related to your statement with makeup, I also love My Hero Academia. It's one
Yeah.
of my biggest obsessions. Like literally, I was deciding if I should tie one of my wigs into like a braid, like into like kind of like suit hair, and just
Yeah.
get it through.
That'd be
But
really cool. I love cosplaying from that show. I do a couple of characters.
okay, what other advice do you have for someone who's new to this?
For someone who's new to it, don't be too hard on yourself in the beginning. You know, you're new to something, let yourself like figure it out as you go. Let it be fun. Don't get caught up in everything having to be perfect all the time. Um, don't be afraid to like customize a character, kind of like how I was saying with customizing your makeup. If you think something's going to look kind of cool in a costume, like why not make it look like that? There's some costumes that I do like this one that I want to be super accurate to my source, but then there's others that I'll just like add accessories here and there because I'm like, oh, this bracelet seems like it would go with this, or like, oh, if I kind of like tweak this, it looks kind of cool. And it might not be exactly right, but like I think it looks cool, and that's really what matters at the end of the day.
Like
Is
I
that
added a little Monokuma pin to my
exactly.
to like make it because since she's the mastermind, spoilers, but since she's the mastermind, I thought it'd be adorable. To,
Yeah. No, that's super cute. Exactly. That's like exactly my point. Yeah, stuff like that. Don't be afraid to like really run with it and be creative. That's the whole point, is that, you know, you're being creative and having fun with it, making some cool art.
huh? Do you have any other advice on like for like conventions? If there's any
Yeah, conventions. Conventions are really fun. I love conventions. I would say, first of all, most importantly, drink water. Don't drink all the water you possibly can at a convention. It's important. It's hot. You get dehydrated very easily. That's always my first tip for conventions. Yeah, go, in a group with your friends, make it a whole thing. They're really fun places. There's a lot to see. Don't be afraid to, like, if someone's walking around, not obviously not sitting down like in a corner eating or something, but if someone's like walking around in costume, don't be afraid to be like, hey, like, can I take a picture of your costume real quick? Like, always ask, consent's important for photography, but like, don't be afraid to, like, be like, hey, can I take a picture? Because speaking, like, as a cosplayer, like, I think it's cool when people want to take pictures of my work. Like, I put so much effort into these things that I think it's cool. Let me think, what else convention wise. Pack, bring like a good bag that kind of, I'll try to find bags that match my character, so that way I can carry like my wallet and my water bottle and all my stuff. Make sure you attach your badge to something and don't lose that, because that's very important. You can't get into the convention without a badge. Yeah, and wear comfortable shoes. Don't sacrifice your comfort for cute shoes. I've done that in this costume and it sucked.
Okay, thank you, Miranda, for your time. We look forward to seeing you again at the live virtual cosplay event on Friday, January 29th, 6:30 p.m. Thanks, bye.
Thanks.